Ready. So let's head down to the action. We've got Applechips versus Mail. All right, speaking of chomping at the bit, our players are chomping at the bit to get started, firing off as soon as I spectate. Here we go. Applechips starting things off. Well, actually, Mail on the play, getting Owlhead ascending down. Applechips hitting Darkwater Vines into Whispering Wind. Nice little synergy there. This is going to be an interesting one. I don't know who's advantaged here. You know, it seems like Applechips has all the value and all the nice Valkyrie synergies, but the Xenan deck has shown us some sweet things so far. So this will be interesting to see who's got the advantage here.
Well, I mean, we've seen this Xena deck really get aggressive and start taking chunks out of their opponent's life total, which is going to make Crawl a slight liability in this deck.
Mhm.
So I think that's one of the deciding factors. There is regen on Applechips side of the board, which will help mitigate some of that overwhelm damage and kind of give them a couple of extra blocks that they wouldn't have before. So I think that will buy them some time. So I really think it's just going to come down to how specific cards line up. I know that's kind of the cliche thing, but it really is. I think, excuse me, if we can see a curtain call at a crucial moment,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah, it could
maybe
be.
a
Could turn the
heavy
tides in the
Valkyrie sweep.
game. Yeah, it could turn the tides in the game for sure. A warped Lord Stairs Tower also just demands a ton of value. There's gonna be another Darkwater Vines here. And then that discard off the Vow. I love that little synergy too. I remember brewing some decks that has that synergy, but playing a Vow does discard from your deck, so it triggers those Darkwater Vines. That's a way to get those up to 2/1s. So exactly what Applechips wants to do there. We'll see if Applechips attacks in with this Whispering Wind and wants to discard something as well. But we're gonna start off with the chicken. Good old chicken here. Gonna draw Crafty Occultist. Best friends, the Crafty Boy and his pet chicken. Best buddies coming at it in this deck. They're not going away, so get used to them. They're gonna be here for a while. All right, exploit here for Mail. Tough cards. Four great cards for Applechips. I don't even know what you take. I guess you take the tower because it's the hardest thing to deal with. But yeah, Crafty is going to be two more cards, so those are all good options.
Yeah, both display and occultist are 2-for-1s, right? They get generate card value, so you kind of want to take those. But I mean, so does Tower. You're not
Yeah,
wrong, but I
right.
guess Male feels like they can deal with Tower, so they're gonna pitch the cultist there.
Yeah. Also, Applechips notably doesn't have a fourth power, so I don't think that makes a huge impact here because you got to assume that they can get to it. But you know, that's also another reason is that they can't even cast the tower. Of course, they drew the power, but in the turn, you don't know that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I definitely don't think it's a zero sum to take power into consideration for sure. I mean, you can tell you're looking at their entire hand, so you know they don't have power, they don't have a plunder. I mean, they can kind of dig with the menace, but that still delays it by a turn. So yeah, I think that's definitely something to consider.
Send an agent and that twin Spitling in hand for Mail. The problem that Mail's facing here is they don't have a great way to get rid of this tower. I mean, the attacking all head's pretty good, but you've also got a free block. This regen hasn't been popped on this Darkwater Vine, so Applechips could easily just throw that in front of the all head if he wants. You don't really want to attack with your Trailmaker. That's just a snap off block with one of the 1/1s.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's
the nice
tough.
thing, the one nice thing about Trailmaker though is sometimes you need the power. When you don't, it's still the influence it gives you remains permanently. So you still get that benefit for
Mm-hmm.
your curtain calls and your owl heads and ascendings and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Mail probably wants to hold on to that Senate agent to get rid of the reappropriator too. You know, you don't want to fire that off on a Darkwater Vines here. You'd rather just play out your Spitling and then
I wonder if I would consider blocking with one of the Valkyries there just to, trade half a card for a solid unit that could potentially get big at the next power that comes down.
all right, here comes that reappropriator. Another twin Spitling the draw for Mail.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, All Heads of Decay does apply to all attacking units, so it does count the Timekeeper as well. Yeah, I think you have to send an agent here now in the Reappropriator. So well played by Mail to hold on to that. Pretty heads up play there. Planning turns out ahead of time. Not good blocks here for Applechips, but going to keep the tower alive. And then another Reappropriator off the top. That's a pretty good draw. And I think at this point, you really want to get this Rhoda online. So you probably just play out the Reappropriator and hope that you can stick your blocks, which at this point, you'd be able to.
Yeah, with one card in hand, I feel like you should feel pretty secure in what's going on. Let's see. If I remember
Hmm.
correctly, they have Impound, they have Tuvon, they have Historia,
Yeah.
they have Swirl the Sands.
A lot of big things.
They
The impound, but that's not gonna
Yeah,
change
Swirl the
this.
Sands would have gotten rid of the reappropriator, but they don't have the 6 power to do it.
Right.
So I like just waiting here, and then they can, after the way blocks go, they can figure it out. I'm
Yep.
assuming they probably still just grab Hysteria because it deals with the reappropriator as well as the 6/6. I
Swirl of Sands
think,
also deals with the Rhoda, right?
yeah, but then you still have the reappropriator.
It's
Well, I
true.
mean, I guess it does get rid of the 6/6 altogether.
All right, well, you get Hysteria, and that can silence both of them. Okay. No one to hold him here. Could get a Kroll. Let's see what they get back. Get back Reappropriator, Whispering Wind, the Grenahen's there. Probably a
Probably just end up
Crafty.
being an occultist, I would think.
Yeah, probably a Crafty. Actually, there's a ton of units in the Void. Probably thanks to those Darkwater Vines. There's a ton in the board or in the Void here. Probably Crafty, I would think, but that does ditch your Display of Menace, which is a little awkward, but it's probably fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, lots of tough decisions here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, we're gonna know when to hold him. We're gonna grab a Kroll. Gonna take 4 damage to do it, but that's okay. Question is, yeah, do we crafty away the Display of Menace for a 3/3 flyer? That's gotta be it, right? Give me a 3/3 flyer, draw 2 cards. No, actually, just go in hand. Want to keep that Display of Menace around. I totally get that too. So the reason you want to do that is this Display of Menace is just a super good card. It's super flexible. It can kill things. You can draw 2 cards. So you really don't want to pitch it for no value. So being able to theoretically get a card off of Grenahan while also keeping display up is really good. I totally get that. Although unfortunately missing off of Grenahan there.
Yeah, so they'll be able to block with Grinahan if they want to, and then sack that to the display.
Yep, you could do that. I don't know if there's a lot of blocking going on here for Applechips. Like you don't really care about the site at this point, right? And how big? What's the All Head's ultimate ability? Let's do overwhelm. Whenever you play another unit, All Head gets that unit's okay. Little far from that.
Yeah, the trick is giving it overwhelm.
All right, time etchings. They are going to the market, and they're going to get Tuvon here. Okay. That's a big beater. It is bigger than the Rhoda. Is there any reason not to fire off the Silent Hysteria here? Well, there you go. I guess I asked it too slow. Sorry about that. That's actually, yeah, I guess they couldn't do it last turn, but that would have been great last turn before Applechips drew the no one to hold him in the Krull to silence the Void. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so Applechips, as we said, gonna fire off that Display of Menace on the Hen. Gonna draw Lord Stairs Tower and a power and a second sight. Ooh, so this is the play that you
Ooh,
talked about. You've been waiting for this all night. Draw
yeah,
two
finally
cards,
get to
put the
see it.
Krull back. Or put the tower back and then warp it. Ooh, that's awesome too. I mean, both of those plays
Oh,
are
the
great.
tech. Yep, even a Sun's Valkyrie is still a Valkyrie.
So good. Look at that. Such value.
This is someone that's practiced with the deck.
Look up Applechips in the dictionary and it just says value there. It's just the king of value, getting so much off of this, and even attacking with the 5/5 because Male's got nothing that can stop a 5/5 attacker. Yeah, just gonna chump block the original Spitling away. Suffocate the draw.
Not gonna do much in this board, and really, I mean, they're gonna be able to draw a card off of Tuvon next turn, but not enough power to really capitalize on it. They still have that 6/6. Applechips still has that 6/6 on
Yeah,
their side of the board.
I guess it was dumb of us to talk about putting the Kroll back when Male had just silenced the whole void, didn't they? Probably not as good. Kroll's probably not quite as good there when your whole void is silenced, but ooh, gonna grab Blazing Salvo. That also turns on all of the market here.
Ooh, so Tuvon's gonna be able to come down and eat this 6/6.
Yeah, but actually, it gives a Blazing Salvo target though, right? So it actually end up being
Well, I mean,
still be
Male know
good.
that?
No, Male doesn't know that, but no, it's not. It doesn't show you the card when you draw it off. Of
I mean, I guess they
Grenahan,
can
so.
guess. They can like deduct it because of Grenahan having to take a card that deals damage.
Well,
So
it's a
they can
unit,
kinda
right?
weigh out the math.
That's a tough one though. You probably assume that it's a unit, because it's any unit too. But yeah, I mean, if they did piece that together there and just chump block it, I mean, I'll give Male credit. This seems like a very obvious like play your ambush unit and eat their 6/6 rather than chump blocking. There's a ton of value in eating their 6/6, but yeah.
Male understands that Tuvon's one of the ways that they get back in from this game.
Yeah.
The other side, the other part of that as well is the fact that we saw Male do some very heads up plays in the previous round. You know, where they were big brain plays, kind of playing
Yeah.
around certain things, trying to deduct what their opponent had. So I like the safety there. This guarantees that they draw a card and they get to swing in to get rid of that sight, which is the bigger target.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think part of that decision too is that 6/6 attacker is big, but if Tuvon sticks and you start drawing the rest of the things in your deck, then you can deal with a 6/6, right? Your Tuvon's already going to be bigger than a 6/6. You're going to draw more units that are bigger than a 6/6. So I actually understand that as well. It's really tempting to just ambush that in, but I like the patience there to say, no, I want my Tuvon to stick. Like you said, Jedi, this is one of the most important cards in the matchup. I need to keep it. And also I might be able to get bigger things off of it that are going to easily beat a 6/6 anyway. So heads up play there by Male for sure. Good credit where credit is due.
I think it would have been a little different if life totals were different, but with both players being so high on the board or on life totals right now, I do think it's going to end up coming down to a pseudo attrition battle.
Good point.
I mean, this is still a stronger board state for Applechips, as we can see, as they're taking the beatdown role and swinging in there. Now Male's at 10. You know, with Applechips at a healthy 27. So, and we're getting close to that hard cast Kroll. I mean, Kroll can easily come down in 2 turns, maybe next turn, depending on what they draw.
True. Big Pig gonna come here, sack a unit, and draw a Display of Menace. Yeah. Get that Display of Menace value back. Pretty good. You can also, well, no, it's got Overwhelm. You can't really chump block here. But I don't know if Male can even really attack though. I guess you can.
So.
Well, you got Friendly Wisp and All Head. You probably attack and play All Head.
The good thing though, the interesting thing here though, is that Curtain Call off the top would play really well for Male, as I mean, Applechips has identified themselves as the beatdown, so they're gonna keep swinging.
Yeah.
This might change now, but you know, Curtain Call on defense could be so powerful.
Yeah, don't count this Owlhead Ascending out. I mean, I know it's a -2/5 right now, but once you get up to that 8 time and you start dropping 8/8s and 6/6s, yeah, that could become a real threat again. All right, so we've got a Lord Stairs Tower, a Grenahan, and a Passionate Stonehammer. Now that Stonehammer, can Applechips line up the Stonehammer kill with the +4/+4?
There's only one more rune on Krull, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so Applechips, I mean, it's not going to work because of Suffocate. You might not need to. I like the attacks here, but Applechips can set up, play Stonehammer this turn, and then next turn pump it for lethal.
Wow.
Wow, actually going to
Willing
put
to
the
trade the
6/6 in front of this Rota, and then an 8/8 in front of the 2/2.
So just I mean, obviously that shows the value of Tuvon.
Yeah, wow. Okay, there's the Blazing Salvo, just going to hit the Timekeeper. To grab Exploit. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if this is clearing the way for your Stonehammer kill next turn. It might do
I
it
feel like
too.
it has to be.
Take the Suffocate, play the Stonehammer. Now they still have the Flying Wisp, I guess. But yeah, there's your answer for the Stonehammer.
Well, I mean the Wisp. It's gonna be no, it won't unless they have something to follow it up because it's gonna get the +4 from the site. So it's gonna be a 6/6 or a 6/1.
Ooh,
whatever.
but look at this
6/5.
curtain call, the top deck for Mail. And you called that there. Curtain call was going to be huge. And this is like,
It's
well,
gonna be an A space.
So the first block, so even though the 1/1 doesn't die, it can't block a second time. So at least 6 of the damage is getting through. But that might not matter because everything is going to get lifesteal. So you're going to gain 9, 11 life.
No, they're only going to gain 3 here. They're only attacking in the air.
They're only going to gain 3 because they're only attacking the air. Okay, going to gain 3.
And they have to pull the trigger. That current call came 1 turn too late.
Okay, it's going to put Mail down to 3. So kept him alive, though.
What they draw.
True Grand Builder. That has Entomb gain 3, but that's...
Yeah, that's Entomb. They don't have enough power to draw a card and use it. Yeah, this... So they could block... They go to 1.
Yeah, they can go to 1.
Wait a minute. Are they just... No, they block 2 on the ground. Block... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it can still go to 1 because they can still block. Another Stonehammer. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Applechips, I wonder if there's any value in doing the Stonehammer first to try to draw something, the draw removal spell. You might not need to because you either do that. I think there's 2 lines. You're so far ahead that you just attack, force the blocks, and then set it up for next turn because you have it very likely. Or plunder this away, try to draw a removal spell. Yeah, I like that more. Play Stonehammer first, see if you can draw something that just ends it right here.
Oh my god, and the warp off the top.
Wait, yeah, you can get back Big Pig. We can get back a removal spell. Ha! Nice job, Applechips. Well played. Well played by both players. I mean, Mail did fantastic. Yeah.
That's why they're in our finals.
Indeed. Wow. Both of these players doing incredibly well. I loved the patience that Mail showed there in just like playing around the right cards, making blocks that didn't necessarily seem obvious, but were good blocks given the context of everything. Yeah.
I mean, literally that curtain call, if it was down 1 turn sooner, it would have probably swung the game the completely other way.
Yeah. That is true. All right, well, let's head down for game 2. Players are just itching to get back into it. So, Applechips, the #1 player right now of the season, does not have a trophy next to their name, but they're going to try to get one here because 1 game away. All right, looking at a hand of 3 power with no fire, Grenahen, Second Sight, Crafty Occultist. Seems fine. It's a little weird, but I think it's fine. You can play your hen and Cultist. I mean, you need fire is the problem. You have 2 fire cards that you can't cast right now, and Grenahen can't find power.
Yep. I mean, you could technically dig, I guess, with Second Sight, but
yeah. All right, Stairs Tower off the top. We're going to start off with a painting. At the very least, we can Grenahen or Second Sight next turn to try to find that fire if needed. Male has a hand of Allhead, Wisp, Big Allhead, Trailmaker, Exploit, and a Seat of Mystery. Only have that 3rd power though, so might rely on either this Exploit Plunder or these Trailmakers to keep their power up. I mean, I guess they're not under a ton of pressure, so they probably have plenty of time. There you go. Applechips did find their fire, so no longer.
Yep.
Told you how easy it was to get these 4 factions, didn't I?
Yeah, especially when it's just 1 influence of each. Like, yep. And I mean, when so many of your cards draw you extra cards, you're able to get through your deck so much quicker.
And there you go. Gonna pitch a spell to give their Crafty Occultist flying. I mean, look how sick that is. It flies under the radar so much, but you just paid 3 power and you got a 3/3 flyer plus a 1/1 and like get to cycle 2 cards. Like, pretty amazing.
Yeah, no joke. And of note as well, not a single Seek power in the deck list at all, and they're running straight 4 colors.
Wow. All right, Exploit. Gonna take the Reappropriator. Interesting choice there. Reappropriator over the tower, huh? What's the thought here for Male? What's the game plan for why you would take tower? Seems to me like a lot more value.
Yeah, plus you can't get tower back from the void versus, you can Reappropriator. I think that's a big decision, especially seeing the know when to hold them in hand as well.
That is true. With the know when to hold them in hand, Applechips can just go get it back anytime they want. Hey, there's a Seek power.
Oh, okay, my bad. I apologize.
No worries. I wonder if it's something to do with the Owlhead in hand that they just didn't want the flying. Maybe it's to slow it down. Maybe the Reappropriator would hit too fast. I don't know. Interesting. I would love to see Male's the decision making there, but here we are. So taking that Reappropriator, here comes the Lord Stairs Tower for Applechips. Going to make 2/1/1 Valkyrie. Continue to develop the board. Go wide. Now pressure's on Male to answer that sight. Technically you don't have to kill the site, but I think like with most sites, it's a lot better if you do.
You're not wrong. I always look for the opportune time where you just ignore the site, and very few. Seldom is it correct to ignore the site, but.
All right, gonna draw those 2 cards by playing out the Owlhead. That's pretty nice. You get to play your 2-drop and draw 2 cards off of the Wisp. Trade with one of the Valkyries, but left behind a 5/5 Overwhelm with Decay when it attacks, and then follow up a Grand Builder as well, and that's going to get up to 9 influence. So now this Allhead's going to get big. So next turn, Male can play either an Allhead or a Moonstone Vanguard and make Allhead into a very large threat.
Yep, and of note, Applechips doesn't have an answer to it right now.
It's true, they do not right now. But here we go. Let's know when to curl them again. Cue the Kenny Rogers. Here we go. Bringing back that Reappropriator. It's so sick because you get to do that and then like it doesn't take your power. You get to just play the rest of your turn.
Yeah, no kidding. Pretty insane turn or play for sure.
It seems like from what we've seen so far that being in the air, that air superiority makes a big difference in this matchup. That Applechips won the first game over being able to just attack through in the air, and now again is assembling, air threats, and Mail doesn't really have answers to those. I mean, you got Moonstone, Vanguard, and Owlhead, but two fantastic cards, but what they don't do is deal with threats in the air.
Yeah, it's really tough here. We're gonna need to see some removal. That exploit's not really gonna do much. I mean, yeah, what? Take the second sight, I guess. Yeah, because Kroll's not really doing much right now. They're good. Applechips will draw a card. And then the Moonstone Vanguard's not going to be doing much blocking, I don't think, on this board. What we've seen is exactly that. Like you just mentioned, Applechips really just gums up the ground and uses it for fodder to draw additional cards, and then they really capitalize in the air.
Ugh, and I love this too because of the regen. Regen blocks all of the decay and all of the overwhelm. So Allhead able to attack in at the Lord Stairs Tower, but just because a 3/1 regen blocks all of the damage, soaks it all up, it keeps that tower around for another turn. Super sick there. All right, we're gonna Trove first. That's gonna get a Blazing Salvo. That's pretty good too. Is this just? Man, we're close to lethal here. If Mail doesn't have an answer for the Stonehammer, is this? Unless it's just lethal now. 6, 12, 15, 18? I think it is.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Applechips. Wow. Wow. I was just about to say if they don't find an answer for the Stonehammer, but that was just it. They didn't. Wow. Congratulations to Applechips. #1 player on the leaderboard. Did fantastic in the winter season, and now back to the #1 spot and taking that trophy. So it doesn't even need the wild card anymore. Applechips is our champion. Congratulations on your automatic invite and your $20 cash tonight. Condolences to Mail. It was fantastic, Mail. You did great. It was so cool to see you play that out and to watch that Xenan deck. Thank you so much for bringing that. And a deck that we hadn't seen really on both of these decks, really, we hadn't seen much in the meta. So thank you for bringing those tonight, and it was really cool to